Brian, I'll start just on that. How important is it for the team to focus on the game that's there as opposed to the record or the last performance that they had?
That's a good question because there's a lot of people on certain sites that are saying we haven't collected points in the last 6 games and stuff like that. I use the term opportunity, Maz. This is an opportunity for us to go at home and play against a decent Houston squad, but they'll be missing some guys, same as us. And we'll use the first open crowd, fully everything stadium, get everybody out there, and it's an opportunity. So we are definitely focused on tomorrow, not on what happened in the last 6 games.
You talked a little bit about the full stadium opportunity there. It's the next normal of whatever this we've been going through. What's that going to mean to have just another few thousand more fans than you've had for those past two months?
Dave, I think you keep track of all the young kids fairly well. You heard Josh's statement the other day. That was the biggest crowd he'd ever played for in front of. Well, he'll beat that record on Wednesday. So it's going to be good. I mean, the fans that have been out in the post-COVID world have done a great job. It was weird playing without, fans. I mean, that was different. Weird is a stupid word, but it was different, So we're happy to have all our fans back safely, and let's go.
Obviously, there was always a chance to learn from previous games. Looking at the tape, did anything stand out from the Colorado game?
I mean, we're trying to solve what happens when teams put two wingers, park them out here. We're trying to solve that, Nico. So that's what we talked about. That's what we discussed. It's happened 2 games in a row. I know you know how Houston plays, right? A couple of wide guys. So let's see. Let's see if we can learn from the previous 2 games.
Is that a tactical thing or just the way the teams are playing or a personnel thing?
Well, look, Houston plays 4-3-3. Austin plays 4-3-3. Vancouver, that might have been unexpected. Sometimes they play 4-4-2. So we have to adapt. We have to adjust. We know Houston, how they play. They've got a couple of fast wingers. One of them's gone, but Picault will be there. Which side of the field he plays on. How do we deny service to them? How do we make sure we prevent balls going in behind? Pressure on the ball. All of those things go into that. So we've worked on all of them.
You kind of mentioned that a little bit. Playing against Houston, how hard is it for your team to turn around in just 2 days to get ready for another opponent after coming off of Colorado, just getting 2 days to prepare?
I said welcome to MLS. It is what it is. We can't control that. What we do control is the physical preparation that they've done the last 2 days. The recovery actually started after the game. Food, refueling their bodies, ice baths after the game, the next day coming in, sleeping a little bit, coming back in here, massage, ice baths, they have cryo, they have all of the things that can get them in the best possible physical shape. And then I've always said that we're a mentally resilient team, and they'll go out there and put the work in. I'm confident of that.
We've talked a lot about the tying the record 12 straight unbeaten to start the season and now going for the lone record at number 13. How much do you care about that personally? How much do you message it to players?
We're not messaging anything like that, Jackson. Look, we've got records. You can go, Sounders have a lot of records. The one I might be most proud of is from 2009 to now, we've got the most points than any other team. Now, you shorten that in the Atlantas and the LAFCs, and when they jumped into the league, I get it. But from that group of teams that were there in 2009, some good teams there, we've collected the most points. Those are some of the bigger statistical things I like to keep track of. This game, 13 games unbeaten. I mean, it's a nice little storyline, but I would much rather taken 3 points against Vancouver. I would much rather, you can do the math. If my math is right, Dave, if you have 5 games and you win 2 and you lose 3, that's 6, right? Instead of 5 points with 5 draws. I mean, there's different ways to slice that.
Your midfield, particularly in the last match, was really fluid. Those 4 central midfielders mix their positioning quite a bit. What's that challenge like for you? a lot of young guys in those central midfield positions now. What's it like, kind of testing their brains a little bit?
Well, it is, we've tested the team. You know, we tried to shape that initially in a diamond, and then we moved to a flat four. You know, so we're making some adjustments during the game that maybe worked, maybe they didn't. I mean, Colorado still, you know, had large parts of the game. But we'll come out with another formation tomorrow that the guys are familiar with, and, you know, they're all smart kids. I mean, they get good coaching from Gonzo, Preki, and Jimmy, Tommy. I mean, we all know the tactics.
Coach Javier Ragal was back today. What did you see out of him?
A happy young man. Happy to be back.
So Brian, going back to the assistant coaches, did you talk with Chris Little? And then how much do you give to the Brian Schmetzer coaching tree as it gets? Because you give them credit. I know you give them credit.
Well, Chris Little did a great job with Defiance. I mean, a good job. I mean, depends if you're looking at his record or if he developed players. I mean, that's where you gotta draw that line somewhere. But Chris is a nice guy. We had him in all our coaches' meetings. He understood what we wanted to accomplish. And then I thought you were going to go with he knew AB really well because he coached him, and that's why they parked Barrios out there because, you know, so, you know.
Can you give us a update on Nuhu's status?
Yeah, it's not out here today.
And what about Shane O'Neill? He wasn't out here as well.
Wasn't out here. He's doing some extra recovery in the tent.
You've talked about the importance of a next man up mentality. How do you think the team has executed on that thus far, and how important has the entire coaching staff been in preparing guys to step in and take minutes?
Well, we're 7-0-5, so they've done a good job. Next man standing up. We've got a lot of injuries, and it's the most diverse, best coaching staff in MLS per me. Now, I know I'm biased, but it's a great staff.
Speaking of next man up, Defiance played tonight. They play this weekend. You're a little short on the roster. Do you focus in more on those matches than you would typically? Like, do you look with more intent since the way your current roster on the first team is?
Oh, yeah. We're trying to make sure that if we need a player from Defiance in the short term, that we know who's available and who deserves it, who's playing well. Wade's another great guy, very good coach, but he's a good guy, good human being, good person, educator. So I think those young guys are learning a lot. He's got a different style. So we're in close contact with Wade about that possibility.
As far as individual performances go, it seems like Yamar, was doing a good job back there against Colorado. What did you take of his performance?
Yeah, he always does the defending. It's very good defending.
Anything else?
No, he's great. I love Yamar. He's a great player.